My name is Mazzy Hernandez, and I will be talking about how to conduct a cremation in the state of Arizona. So, I have been in the funeral industry for over 8 years, and I have been a funeral arranger directing funerals for over a year now. So, I cover services ranging from direct cremations or private cremations all the way to traditional full funerals and burials. So, direct cremations have become increasingly popular over the last couple of years due to the fact that they are substantially more affordable than a burial is. So, when you have a burial, you have to pay for all the funeral services and all the burial services as well. And that can be very pricey at some point. Where a private cremation, as I call it, is you just have to pay for the cremation itself and a little bit of overcharges or basic general services for the funeral home. So the funeral contract comes up to be a lot less than the actual burial itself. So in this video, I will be outlining the process that it takes to have a direct cremation from the point that the loved one gets to our care all the way until the loved one is returned in their cremated remains form back to their family. So the first step is for the loved one to be actually received into our care. And once they are received into our care, they come with a packet of paperwork that I will receive. And with that paperwork, I can call the family and initiate the first call. So that packet of paperwork has initial notification, what to have the loved one's name, date of birth, date of passing, where they passed, and the next of kin information to give them a call. The personal effects inventory form, which this will tell me all the individual items that came in with the loved one. And then there's some hospital forms and miscellaneous forms that I don't necessarily use, but we do need. Say that they were on hospice, then that will have the social security number, which I do need for another form. So for the first call, I will go over a form called the death registration worksheet. And this is where we fill out the form for the death certificate to be started, the whole process to begin. So I will ask questions like the name, if there's a middle name, last name, maiden name, parent's name, everything that's on the birth certificate will also be on the death certificate, in addition to the next of kin, address, name, and relationship to the decedent, as well as where the decedent passed, and then the doctor's signature will add the cause of death as well. So also, after that call is ended, I will make an appointment with the next of kin. And at the appointment, which is called the arrangement conference, is where we will get a signature on the death registration worksheet. So this is another person that will physically look at the form that I filled in and just make sure that I spot everything correctly, because this will be an official document, the death certificate, so it has to be accurate. The personal effects inventory will also be initialed, because for each individual item, say there was a belt or a shirt or a wedding ring, the next of kin has to individually initial what will be done with each of those items. So say the shirt will be cremated with the decedent and the wedding ring will be returned to the family. And that's how the care center will know what to do with the items at the time of cremation or at the time of the return. The next step is to choose an urn, or even there's keepsakes that can be made, like necklaces or bracelets, or just tons of different things that can be done. Little keepsake urns, and then the regular size urns as well can be chosen. Typically with private cremations, a lot of families do either choose one urn or they have the temporary urn that's free with the cremation. Again, it's a lot more cost effective than choosing an urn itself. Another important part of the cremation during the cremation conference is after everything has been chosen and the contract has been written up for the family to sign, I have to get a lot of forms together. So the first form that has to be signed is the death registration worksheet, which is for the death certificate. The personal effects inventory has to be initialed, and then the authorization for cremation disposition has to be initialed, whether or not they have a pacemaker, and then signed for the actual authorization for cremation and disposition. Another form is the authorization for return of cremated remains, and in this form it will outline who will receive the cremated remains at the time of release, and it also will confirm, again, the next of kin's address, phone number, name, and relationship to the decedent. Another form is identification acknowledgement, And this form is very important as well because it either allows us to identify the decedent with a photo or an ID, or it allows the next of kin to view the decedent themselves, which is something that we do offer, but a lot of people do decline it. Um, but it's just another important form. So anything that can halt the cremation would be those three forms: the authorization for cremation disposition, dedication acknowledgement, and authorization for return of cremated remains. These will have to go through a process of cremation clearance. So once you have cremation clearance is when you could actually perform the cremation and schedule a cremation. So not only are those three forms required for the cremation clearance to actually be approved, but also the doctor's signature for the cause of death is also important to get that cremation clearance. And it also orders the death certificates as well. So once all of that has been completed, we do receive the cremation clearance. We're able to schedule the decedent for an actual cremation date. I will call the next of kin, let them know. Say, for example, we're going to cremate on Monday morning. I can release either Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning. So we'll also schedule time for release as well. And that is also if the urn is there already, or if we're waiting on it to be delivered to the funeral home. That's another thing that could possibly halt the release. So that's pretty much it. The cremation process is a little bit more complicated compared to a burial, where the burial only requires a couple of forms that aren't as significant. Besides the name of the decedent is very important, the date of birth and date of passing. Where the cremation process is a lot more complicated, a lot more checks and balances have to be gone through. Not only do I have to double check all the paperwork, the next kid has to double check the paperwork, the cremation death has to double check, the funeral director has to double check the paperwork, and the health department as well. So definitely a lot of things are double, triple, quadruple checked just to make sure that no mistakes are made. But that's pretty much it. That's a process for performing a cremation in the state of Arizona. Thank you.